Hello guys, you guys demanded it, and I delivered. So today we're doing Mirage Wasted Potential. Also, before I start this video, I wanna say, every year, millions of Foxies from FNAF are being tortured, sexually drawn, in DeviantArt. By liking that video, a Foxy will be saved. Please, put an end to this horrible practice. Only you can save a Foxy. Oh, and also, I'm gonna do that, so stay tuned. I'm gonna make a teaser trailer for it. It's gonna be awesome, so just stay tuned. Alright, but now we're gonna jump right into it. So Mirage doesn't really have a lot of stuff for him. First, I'm gonna start with his bio. So Mirage is armed with a dart rifle, an electro disruptor, and he has the amazing ability to create holograms and turn himself invincible. Even though we never saw him do that in the film, Mirage is more of a stealthy robot, as he prefers to use his blades when he's close to his opponents. He's also partnered with Wheeljack, or aka Q. Alright, so now I'm gonna go over what he did in the movie. Dino joined Q, Bumblebee, and Sideswipe on a mission to take out an illegal nuclear weapons site in the Middle East, while the Autobots managed to fool security and move forward to destroy the nuclear plant. Dino stayed behind to take care of the human forces. At the sight of him, the humans were scared, and Dino took this chance to intimidate them and force them to stay in place. Not long after this, the Autobots regrouped back at their Washington headquarters. Dino told Charlotte Meering, the new Secretary of Defense or whatever, that Optimus Prime was in a bad mood over the discovery of a piece of Cybertronian technology he had found in Chernobyl. And he was basically giving everyone the silent treatment. You know, until Ironhide told him to man up and speak about it. He then witnessed Optimus Prime give his speech to the humans and talk about how the Ark was lost a long time ago. Much later in the movie, after Sentinel Prime was reactivated, Dino and the other Autobots were present to observe the old Autobot leader wake up from stasis, and also gave his explanations about how the pillars work, and how with the pillars, they are the key to controlling the space bridge, a teleportation device that Sentinel Prime had created at the end of the war. So Dino and the other Autobots later met up with Sam with Wiki. They saw Sam just having an argument with his girlfriend, and not in a single moment did they notice that the car that Carly was using was actually Soundwave in disguise. This will later come back to bite them. So the Autobots were escorting Sentinel Prime back to their base. Well, out of nowhere, the Dreads appear. Then they transform into the robot modes and manage to pass the Autobots. The Autobots then engage in their stealth force, trying to take down the Dreads while they're in vehicle mode. During the chase, Dino dug his blades into Hatchet and steered him into the firing line for Bumblebee to take the shot. After killing Hatchet, Dino arrived at the base with Bumblebee, while Sideswipe and Ironhide finished off the rest of the Dreads. But when he got there, Sentinel Prime had betrayed the Autobots. He killed Ironhide and took the pillars. Ness and the Autobots pursued Sentinel Prime to Washington, DC. Even though Optimus tried to stop the Autobot, Sentinel Prime managed to activate the crystals and managed to call down the Decepticon army that was hiding in the moon. Dino arrived with Sideswipe, Bumblebee, Lennox, and some Ness soldiers, but they were really outnumbered by the overwhelming numbers of Decepticons, who were destroying the entire city. Optimus then ordered the Autobots to retreat, knowing that they were outnumbered. After that, Sentinel Prime gave humanity an ultimatum: exile the Autobots, and there will be basically peace, no more fighting. They just want them to leave. But Optimus Prime knew that the Decepticons will not honor this promise. So, the Autobots faked their deaths, and later returned to assist Sam with Wiki on destroying the pillars and saving Carly. Then and the other Autobots drove down the streets heading to the pillars when the Driller, commanded by Shockwave, attacked the group. Luckily, the Autobots managed to take shelter in a nearby building while they prepare for the next phase of the plan. The Wreckers then transform into their vehicle modes and engage Shockwave, allowing the Autobots enough time to get away. But this wouldn't turn out very well, as the Autobots separated, and once they separated, at least 4 Autobots were captured by Decepticons, who were being commanded by Soundwave and Barricade. Bumblebee was soon captured too. Dino struggled against his captors trying to get away, but with little result. Then the Decepticons decided to execute the Autobots, as they seemed to have no point to leaving them alive. They started with Q, Dino's partner. After killing him, Soundwave dragged Bumblebee and he was about to kill him. Bumblebee would have died here. But then, Wheelie and Brains hacked the Decepticon ship, creating a distraction, allowing Bumblebee the opportunity to sucker punch Soundwave, the other Autobots, to escape. After they were released from the Decepticon captors, the Autobots regrouped and then they joined with the remaining Nest soldiers and United States Army in an assault on the building with the pillars. Dino went hand-to-hand combat with many Decepticons were between him and the pillars. But during the fight, the Decepticons managed to outnumber Dino and managed to injure his arm, badly wounding it, limiting his fighting ability. But this did not stop Dino, and he was later seen taking care of some Decepticon protoforms with one arm. Eventually, the pillars were destroyed by Bumblebee and Ratchet. The Decepticon forces were destroyed or scattered. Dino was later present at the site where Optimus had finally killed Megatron, and by therefore ending the war. Okay, so that's it for the movie. Now let's talk about comics and games. So, Dino appears on the IDW comics The Rising Storm, when Sam, Witwicky, and Bumblebee were being menaced by Decepticons after their small companion Brains had escaped. Mirage and Wheeljack arrived. Keep in mind that Mirage and Wheeljack look very different in the comics, and that's for a good reason. I'm gonna explain it later. Mirage was taunting the Decepticons while being cloaked. You know, he was making fun of them. They couldn't hit him because he was invincible. That's kinda cheap, Dino. Really cheap. And demanded the remaining Decepticons to bring it on. He was gonna take them all by himself. Using his ability to stay invisible, he managed to take out plenty of Decepticons. Then Bumblebee and Optimus Prime arrived with Nest reinforcements, and the battle turned into favor for the Autobots. But Mirage's luck ran out when Soundwave arrived on the scene and blasted him and Wheeljack, leaving them terribly injured. They were like really injured to like an inch of their life. They were about to die if it wasn't for Ratchet. Ratchet saved their lives, but he was really unsure if they will end up looking the same. The damage that Shockwave did was so much that they basically need to be reformatted into new models, new forms. Henceforth, why we see Wheeljack like an old man in Dark of the Moon, and Mirage looks very different from his IDW counterpart. Now, for Dark of the Moon, the game. Now, I know a lot of people say games are not canon, but this game, it's as canon as you can get. It fits almost perfectly, and it even fixes some of the mistakes and inconsistencies of the movie. Okay, so here we go. Sideswipe went missing after being tasked with investigating Decepticon activity in Central America. So Mirage was tasked with the mission of finding Sideswipe and completing his investigation. While he was traveling to the location, he encountered Starscream, who tried to kill Mirage with mines and missiles, but failed. The Autobot was way too fast for Starscream, even though Starscream is a jet and he should be like really fast and have no trouble to catch up to him, but oh my god, never mind. Starscream's stupid. Starscream was so angry that he flew down, transformed, grabbed Mirage, forcing him to transform, and then he threw him off the bridge into a ravine and believed him to be dead. Really, Starscream? You had him in your hands and you didn't use your missiles or something? Ugh, no wonder you got killed in Dark of the Moon. Of course, Mirage survived this because no one dies from, falling off a cliff, but his transformation systems were damaged, so he was stuck in robot mode. Not only that, but he had no weapons aside from his blades, and his invisibility cloak was also deactivated, so he had to be stealthy. On his way, he took out many Decepticon protoforms and even some dreads. Yes, there's more than 3 dreads. After informing the Nest base of his situation, a convoy of human helicopters were sent to assist Mirage and give him weapons and a med pack so he could heal himself. But the humans were all killed and taken down by the Decepticons. However, it's not all bad, and Mirage managed to repair himself and get his weapons back from the human wreckage. The Nest sent even more reinforcements in the form of Bumblebee. Bumblebee then met up with Mirage, and the 2 Autobots then made their way to the ruins and battled a Decepticon enforcer of the top of a temple. After defeating him, Mirage managed to free the captured Sideswipe from captivity. But then Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Dino came under heavy fire when they were surrounded by Decepticon dreads. The Nest forces of course didn't only send Bumblebee, but they also sent some air support. With air superiority on their side, the humans bombarded the Decepticons, forcing them to retreat, allowing the 3 Autobots to survive the encounter. As they made their way deeper into the ruins, they encountered Starscream and the 3 Autobots engaged into battle. Starscream was overwhelmed by the 3 Autobots. Even though he had air superiority, he was a match for them. But Starscream succeeded on his plan. He allowed one of the Decepticon ships to escape, which was part of his plan all along. The Autobots were confused as to what was the purpose of that. Dino informed the Autobot base about this, and Optimus told them that they were tracking it. Now, apparently, the purpose of this ship is never made, like, you know, it's never made clear what the purpose of the ship was, but it was heading into space. So, my guess is that the ship had Decepticons who were going to the moon, and they were gonna take some of the pillars from the Ark. Since in the movie we saw that the Decepticons were moving the pillars from the Ark, and we also later see them that they were all over the world, basically activating the pillars at the same time. So this is most likely the purpose of the ship. And that's it, guys. His bio, his movie story, his game story, and his comic story. Surprisingly, Dino had quite a bit of stuff to talk about. But then this leaves the question, was Dino wasted in the film? Now, in this section I talk about how would I have handled him. Honestly, much like Jazz, I would say that Dino was not that wasted. I know some of you are gonna be like, what? Yes, but listen, Jazz died with honor. He died at the hands of the Decepticon leader, protecting the humans like a true Autobot. Now, we never saw Dino die, and there's a possibility that he could come back. But since his voice actor died, I doubt it. Well, granted, they could get a new voice actor, kind of like what they did with Topspin. But also, remember, in Age of Extinction, there was drones that looked like Shockwave. And remember, there was one Shockwave, and they managed to make like a whole army of two-headed Shockwaves. And this Decepticon Beacon looks an awful lot like Dino. So yes, I think Dino is one of those Autobots that's not gonna come back because he got turned into a KSI drone. Now, I know that's a horrible fate for an Autobot. I mean, can you imagine? I know we think of them as robots, but think of Dino as some dude, and now think that robots capture him, kill him, and made an army of that dude that looks disfigured, like some kind of Frankenstein monster. That's kind of creepy, and every time I see the KSI drones, I think of Frankenstein monsters, like their monstrosities, unnatural. I know that they share the color, they share the blade, they have a lot of similarities, but it's really hard to tell that, you know, they probably killed Dino to make this KSI drone. But I actually do think Dino is dead, and we're not gonna see him again. I'm sorry, but that's what I think. Unless we see him in Transformers 6, 7, or 8, I believe he's dead. Now, I honestly don't think I would have changed anything with Dino. He was part of the main, you know, Autobot attack forces, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Dino, who were, you know, always on missions. And even in Dark of the Moon, the game, we see that was the main trio of Autobots who always went together in missions. In the IDW comics, they did a good job, you know, partnering him with Wheeljack. If I would have changed anything in the movies, have him be more cocky, having used his, you know, his invisibility ability to free the Autobots. Instead of having Brains and Willy free the Autobots, have like Mirage be invisible, and have us have a segment of him just going around murdering the Decepticons, you know, one by one, until he frees the Autobots. I think that would have been much interesting and much better in my opinion. Because as far as we know, Dino's just some other Autobot that just came and has nothing special. Sideswipe has his blades, Bumblebee's Bumblebee, Ratchet's the healer, Dino's just a warrior. I mean, he has his blades, but having an Autobot with a special ability, it's really interesting, and I think it should have been used more in the movies. Like, even Bumblebee has a special ability, the whole, you know, separate thing. That's my only disappointment, that they did not use his invisibility ability in the movie. Try saying that 3 times fast. That's the only thing I will change from Dino. Then just have him go missing or play a minor role in the movie, like kind of like we saw in Dark of the Moon. And for Age of Extinction, I would have it confirmed. Well, I'm not saying it's confirmed, but I would have it confirmed that this Decepticon drone, it's in fact a version of Dino that got captured and killed, and his remains were made to use to, you know, build this Beacon Trooper. Now, why would I do that? Well, when we saw Ratchet dying, that was sad and powerful. When we saw Left dying, that was also pretty sad, cause, you know, and having another Autobot be, you know, turned into this monstrosity, this Frankenstein, that will make the Autobots be like more angry, more, you know, have more of a reason to go against the humans, and portray the humans more as monsters. Because believe it or not, Optimus Prime since day one was like, humans, yeah, we need to protect them, they're a young species. But portraying the humans as evil, as dark, as killing their friends mercilessly, not just one, not just two, like killing three, I think that will cement the humans as being more of a, you know, more of a danger, more of a threat. Like, it will bring Optimus' ideals into question. Like, was Megatron right? Maybe he had the right idea. Because, I mean, humans are no better than us, they're killing our friends. But yes, in the wasted potential scale, how will I rank Dino? Well, this is a tough one because I really don't know. I would say that I would put him above Jazz and Infernicus, just because invisibility. Come on, he had a cool design, he was cool. He never used a gun in the film. He was different, even if, you know, we never saw him do something really special, he was still different. Like, I feel like we definitely could have seen more of this character, especially the fact that he never turned invisible. That was my biggest complaint. But anyways guys, where would you rank Dino? Tell me in the comments down below if you guys were satisfied with him, or you guys think that maybe he could have been handled better. Okay, and now don't tell me who I'm gonna do next, because next I'm doing the Dreads, and after that for episode 10 I'm gonna do Skits and Mufflap. Yeah, that's gonna be our episode 10 special. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.